The future doesn't seem bright for Sri Lanka cricket. Because after their narrow loss to Pakistan, which ensured they didn't even win a single game in the Super 8 stage, losing 4 on the trot after the high against Australia, you had these visuals playing out. Lasith Malinga was visibly angry with Dasun Shanaka for letting that delivery go. But it was a wide. It was an oversight that the umpire had made. And that is why when you look at the current situation, this was the first major jolt. The confrontation, the angry behavior that Lasith Malinga had towards Dasun Shanaka was not made for good viewing. But now, Sri Lanka cricket are set to get another jolt because Sanath Jayasuriya, who has been at the helm of the Sri Lankan cricket team for quite some time, almost close to a year and a half, has now decided to step down as the coach of the Sri Lankan team. Because after Sri Lanka failed to make it to the semi-final, Sanath Jayasuriya told media that yes, it's probably the end of his coaching tenure. Because he mentioned, about 2 months ago, I had said during the England series that I don't have hopes of staying in the job for long. I thought I'd be able to leave on a good note in the World Cup. I wasn't able to do it and I'm very sad. Now, let us make one thing very clear here. From where Sri Lanka are, ever since the high of the 2022 Asia Cup title, look at 2023, you look at 2024, you look at 25 and 26, they have grossly underwhelmed. So much so that they didn't even make it to the Champions Trophy in 2025. Sri Lankan cricket is in dire straits at this point in time. And Jayasuriya, when you have to look at it, he had kind of given Sri Lanka a bit of a revival. But now that has also been nipped in the bud, and that is why now he is leaving. But has he communicated the decision to the SLC? Because Sanath Jayasuriya revealed, I haven't given SLC any news officially yet. They don't know that I'm going to say this even. I will need to go and discuss with them. Wow. The channels of communication are so, if you look at it, vague between SLC and the staff. The staff didn't even get an awareness. The board didn't get an awareness that yes, Sanath Jayasuriya was going to go when he had made the decision 2 months ago. So, why isn't the communication channels open between the staff and the board? This is the one thing that Sanath Jayasuriya and everybody will have to answer at this point, because Sri Lanka cricket is in the doldrums, and looking at the way how it is, they are not looking at that much cricket also. Remember, March, they may be playing a series in Afghanistan and the UAE, but because of the tensions that are existing in the Middle East due to the Israel-Iran conflict, that might not happen. But under Sanath Jayasuriya, did Sri Lanka cricket really have a resurgence at this stage? Some will argue yes, some will argue no. Because when you look at in ODIs, we were ranked 8th or 9th. Didn't even qualify for the Champions Trophy. But I was able to bring us to number 4. I have brought the test team to number 6 and the T20 team is also 6th or 7th. For Jayasuriya's knowledge, Sri Lanka are 8th in the rankings. It has represented a kind of a mini jump in Sri Lanka's fortunes when you look at it. If you look at the key events, they whitewashed, they beat Australia 2-0 in a bilateral series at home. Yes, they did have certain successes, but the loss that they did not go to the Champions Trophy will forever haunt them. And in T20Is, they were placed in tougher groups, but they just didn't make it. And that is why in 24 and 26, in the T20 World Cups, it's been a big letdown for them. Even in 21, 3 out of the 4 editions, or if you look at it, all the 4 editions, they have been placed in tough groups. And that is why Sri Lanka cricket isn't making that much of progress at this point. Test cricket is a real worry because they're only playing about 2 or 3 tests, and they've got tough assignments coming up in August, September. You will be playing India as well. So, it is the end of the road when you look at Sanath Jayasuriya's coaching tenure. Was it a success for Sri Lanka? Did it really help Sri Lanka, or do you think the status quo remained? You can write to us in the comments below. Thank you so much, folks, for joining us for this video. Subscribe to Sports Today for all the latest news and analysis.